Hey, buckle up for episode 8 of the Bad Batch podcast. I'm your co-host, Justin Samoy, and I'm here with Drew Crispo.
What's going on?
And BJ Davis.
What's up?
So whether you've seen one Star Wars film, played some games, or become a hermit and mastered all the content of the Star Wars universe, this podcast is for you. So today we have some rumors and news to discuss and break down for you. And then following that, we want to answer some questions from you, the listeners. So to kick things off, some news and rumors that I saw this week. This one's a rumor, and I saw it on Bespin Bulletin, and it's about the Knights of the Old Republic, the video game from like 15 years ago. They're talking about remaking another one, and this one would be set in the Old Republic time, which is like thousands of years before all the Skywalker saga. So this has like Darth Revan in it. That's obviously just a rumor, and people were like super excited to hear this, but they've also dropped this rumor the past like decade several times. So,
well, this is huge if true.
Huge if true.
Yeah.
I mean, the game is really cinematic. It's like similar to Fallen Order, but you make your choices. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about this game. I mean, like I've said in the past episodes, I have yet to actually play it. But as far as I've heard, it's like one of the best Star Wars stories in general. And now that we're getting all this content with the High Republic and it's pushing through a lot of like written media, it's really cool that they're going back and kind of combining like an era that people like and want to go to and a game that people hold like so like as an important game for them growing up. So yeah, I'm huge if true. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Revan is canon, but it would bring him into like main.
Did you know that in spoilers for Clone Wars here, of course.
It's in season 7, right? I forgot when they mentioned it.
So they made like a rendered model for him. Because like in animation, like you have to make different models if you're going to use them from like different angles and stuff. Yeah. And they had one ready to go because they had Bane in it, like Bane's ghost or whatever, talking to Yoda. But Revan was in the plans, and I forget why, but Dave Filoni talked about it in some interview, saying that they just ended up cutting it for one reason or another. Because that was like right when they were like getting canceled by Cartoon Network, so they were cutting all their stuff.
Yeah,
it was getting pushed down. But
I was really like maybe they're using it for like maybe a Sith version. I don't know much about him. Mm-hmm. Was he good? Was he good then turned bad, or bad then turned good?
Yeah, he was a former Jedi, and then he wanted to go stop the Mandalorian War, or like intervene with it, and then he learned some dark teachings along the way.
Didn't he have his like mind wiped or something happen? I'm not extremely familiar with him.
Yeah,
like Revan is like, I guess in canon it's a he, but in the video game you're Revan and you don't know it, so you can make him whoever you want. But yeah, you get your mind wiped and you don't know who you are. And the Jedi are like, oh, we'll reuse them, recycle them, I guess, to dumb it down. So in other news, Han and Kira were rumored to appear in the Mandalorian universe. And then when I took this in, I thought they would be in like the Mandalorian, which would be weird. But if they're in the Book of Boba Fett, I think it could work.
That could be interesting.
So well.
I mean, going back to last episode, if you haven't seen our solo review, go check that out with Brandon Fryer. But we talked a little bit about this last week where, people go into things just like they're going to hate it kind of thing. That could work. I like that, just like because you're committing to it. I'm just kind of like worried about people hearing that and then just being like, oh, screw that because it's not Harrison Ford or something, which I mean, at a certain point, you just got to like, you got to get over it. Like,
exactly.
Other stuff. And he did a good job. And I think, especially if you continue that and you space them out, because obviously they're not going to be like romantically involved, or maybe they are. Maybe that's why Leia on breakup, Kira gets in the middle. But no, I mean that'll be interesting for sure. Because now, like obviously Maul is dead, so we're gonna want to see where that storyline went at the end of Solo and like how she picked up the kind of the mantle on the underground syndicate scene.
Do you think she was working in the background because you never see her in Rebels?
Yeah, why not? I mean, she could be like the like a big bad kind of thing,
Yeah. I mean, Alden and Amelia Clark have, I think, 2 more features, whatever it is, in their contract. And I'm assuming they're not going to make another Han Solo movie just because it was the lowest grossing out of all the Star Wars films. So they could throw them in TV shows. And I think the only problem is Alden is like not Harrison Ford, and this is after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you just kind of accept it, I don't
Yeah.
think
Yeah. And plus, do you think they're going to bring in Leia at all? Like, how do you think they would do that?
I think that honestly, if they were going to do it, which is like, I mean, risky, again, very risky, but I think that more people would accept it if, because there's been a lot of talk of like her daughter, like Carrie Fisher's daughter, Billy D, right?
Yeah.
I think is her name. No, it's Billy something, right? Her last name's Lord or something.
Billy Lord,
Catherine Lord.
Yeah. People were talking about like her playing her because I think she's done it in limited capacity in certain stuff at like.
Yeah, like she was in the
Oh, she's in Rise of Skywalker.
Skywalker, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, do that. I mean, go for it. Why not? How poetic would that be? Talking about Star Wars, which everything is supposed to, it's like supposed to rhyme and sway together. How cool would that be coming back and, kind of tying that bow off and like mending that bridge, like from old to new with her daughter. I think that would actually be really cool.
Yeah, no, so it'd be cool to see Kira be a criminal overlord.
I would love to see them in Lando. But I mean,
so if that could be the 2 things that they're in, both of them,
that could be cool. I mean, I'm piqued my interest for sure.
Obviously, Lando is not confirmed either. If Donald Glover's going to be in it, hopefully it is.
Oh,
flashbacks.
It has to be.
Like, if it's not, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, because I'm honestly not too interested in Billy D. Williams running, or how as old as he is. No offense to oldies, but just him trying to find. I forgot her character's name, but trying to find her parents.
Oh yeah.
Forget her name.
I mean, they kind of like implied that he was her dad in a weird way at the end of Rise of Skywalker, and you're like, why are we throwing mystery out at the end of a saga?
Oh my gosh, like how Star Wars Facts keeps trying to add on. I think the last one we saw was like Palpatine knew Darth Vader was gonna betray him. It's like, okay, stop. You
like,
don't have to keep
Rey's dad was actually a clone the whole time.
Oh my god. They just need to stop with that.
Yeah.
Just commit to what you've done. Just
commit to what you've done.
Yeah.
Stop trying to explain it. You're making it worse.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, Drew, you want to talk about the next news that we have going on?
Yeah. Let me pull that up. 1 second. Sorry. So the next news that we have is another TV show news in the industry. It's something that we kind of all hoped would be going on when we heard about the Cassian Andor series, which unfortunately isn't happening, but it does sound promising. So Alan Tudyk, who played K2SO, who was definitely one of my favorite droids in all of Star Wars so far. I'm a huge fan of Rogue One and even bigger fan of K2SO. I think humor in Star Wars is such a very difficult thing to nail because if you get it wrong and the way they portray all their comedy and stuff, it feels way off. Like, in my opinion, Last Jedi, just the humor that they were going for didn't quite fit, but I think he nailed it. So Alan Tudyk just confirmed that he is not in Cassian Andor season 1, but he has been in contact with Lucasfilm. He says he can't say too much as of right now, but the creator and director has confirmed that he does have plans to have K2SO in the series going forward, which is also interesting when you think about it, because that's confirming that Andor already has another season, even before it's aired its first. So little 1 and 1 together makes 2. So I thought
What
What's that?
time period is this?
It is a little bit before Rogue One, I think, a couple years before Rogue One.
So during Rebels.
Yeah, so there's a comic book I believe that has how Cassian and K2 became like good friends and stuff. So I think that's going to kind of play along that line. And then in the same vein in that show, another fan favorite from Rogue One, excuse me, played Bodhi Rook, the pilot who gets his mind all mixed up with who am I thinking of? They wipe his mind. Why am I blanking? He's in Fallen Order.
Was it you?
It is me. Yeah, my mind is
Oh,
wiped.
Cal.
No, Forrest Whitaker's character.
Oh, Saw Gerrera.
Saw Gerrera. He's the one that is in Saw Gerrera's like palace type thing, and he gets his mind wiped.
Oh, yeah.
Bodhi Rook. So Riz Ahmed, who plays him, has also confirmed that he is not in season 1 of Andor. In a interview with Collider, he confirmed that, but it does not sound like there are plans moving forward with him to be in it, unfortunately. I know a lot of people liked him, and I think he did a great job portraying like a pilot that turns and everything. That I thought that was really cool. I should also say that the K2 news comes to us from Star Wars Newsnet. If you guys are not familiar, definitely check them out. They're a really good aggregator of all kinds of Star Wars stuff. So go forward with that. But what do you guys think about them not being in the show?
Well, I liked K2SO a lot. And Alan Tudyk. I actually was just looking up like highest grossing actors and actresses. And I think he was like number 8 or 9, just because
Really?
he does all these voices and
Mhm.
it's cool. It's just a random fact. I learned about him today. But
Yeah.
K2SO was awesome. He was funny. It wasn't like your mom jokes that Poe was pulling at the beginning of Last Jedi, which is strange. But yeah, no, I liked K2SO. And yeah, I like Bodhi Rook too. They were good characters. But I think in good news, Cassian Andor will be in his show, Andor.
Yeah.
He is confirmed to be in the
Diego
show.
Luna.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's gonna be cool to focus on just Cassian. Because what part of the movie is it when she's like kind of recruiting or running around the city? And he said, I've done terrible things.
Yeah.
To like for the rebels. So
It'll be like a spy thriller, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
The other funny thing from that interview that I saw was he was talking about portraying him, and he has to be on stilts because his character is 7'1". And he was like, well, we're gonna have to do this here in the next couple of years because I'm turning 50 next year, and I am not going to be doing this in 5 years. So if we're gonna do it, let's get this going. They're like, all right.
Maybe
Joe, what do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he shows up in one of the later shows, like maybe K2SO was like trashed or something, and then they find him, and then he helps out like somebody else.
Oh, they bring him back from the dead. That would be
Yeah,
that would be the most Star Wars thing to do ever.
I mean, it's so possible with a droid though, and it wouldn't be like, oh.
Yeah,
exactly.
I also have to say my favorite droid's probably Chopper. I love Chopper.
Not a bad pick.
Yeah,
not a bad pick.
He's
Chopper also in Rogue One.
What'd you say?
Chopper's in Rogue One. If you hadn't caught that.
I did not catch that.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird. There's a lot of cool things. That's what makes Rogue One good too. They have tons of like small little Easter eggs in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall, good that maybe we'll see him at some point, but kind of disappointing. Bodhi Rook and him won't be in the first season.
Yeah.
Now going along with people who are returning or rumored to come back in Star Wars in some capacity, Jason Isaacs, is that the way to say it?
Mm-hmm.
Who you might know from the Harry Potter series. He's Draco Malfoy's. No,
he's Lucius Malfoy.
Lucius
Malfoy.
Malfoy.
Long blonde hair.
Yeah, he plays him, and he's he's in the movie The Patriot, which he plays a very similar character to his Star Wars character counterpart, the Grand Inquisitor. It's funny because watching Rebels, I didn't even pick up that was him, and I was like, "Oh, this character reminds me of this character, like this British officer from The Patriot, this random Mel Gibson movie." And then today I was like, oh, that's because it's him.
Because it's him. That's
Anyways,
funny. Actually, I didn't know that until today either.
yeah, it definitely caught me off guard a little bit. I was like, oh, it makes a lot of sense. But in another interview with Collider, he was also asked if he'd be willing to return to Star Wars, and he seemed very open to it. He went on to say how he loves the character and he would love to do live action. He was good friends with Katie Sackhoff, who plays Bo-Katan.
Okay.
He did a great job with bringing that aspect in, but he also touched on that he doesn't want to just do it to do a cameo or just to kind of sell toys. I think he said something along the lines of that. Or just
He wants to be in
a
it.
meet and greet kind of thing. Yeah, he wants his character to like be in it.
Okay.
He wants to
I
be
thought you were about to say like if I was an actor and someone's like, "Hey, be in Star Wars," and I wasn't a fan, I'd be like, "Yeah, that's quick money."
Mhm.
But if he's actually interested in being a part of it, obviously he wants money too. That would be cool.
I think he would transfer so well onto screen as him. Like just that character is so interesting. If you guys have not watched Rebels or picked up on him at all, he's like a ruthless, like very intimidating villain, but also has like a very deep backstory and comes across like they wanted to think he's like suave and like very like almost high class in a way, but he's like ruthless. Very, very cool.
That's kind of what
Jason
I thought about
Isaacs. Oh,
Thawne.
sorry, you go.
That's kind of what I thought about Thawne the first time I saw him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
I texted you. I was like, I think Thawne might turn out to be a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you guys are like, no.
He's very specific. I was gonna say Jason Isaacs is a good bad guy in everything he's in.
Oh yeah, he played Captain Hook in the early Peter Pan movies from the early 2000s. If you guys remember those, great,
Yes, we remember those.
great Captain Hooks and great Grand Inquisitor. So can't wait for him to be back in Star Wars. Now, a bigger name that you will definitely know at home, the listener, and we all know. Liam Neeson was in a interview with Collider earlier this week, and he was asked if he would be willing to return to Star Wars. Now, this is a headline that kind of caught fire and took out over all media outlets. But it's funny because after watching it, the interview didn't go as like people were covering it because the headline reads like Liam Neeson wants to come back to Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But when I believe the interviewer's name is Frosty, when Frosty asks him, would you be willing to come back to Star Wars? People really want you to come back. He was like, oh, I haven't heard that. And he was like, oh yeah, I definitely hear it. And he goes, well, like, isn't Star Wars more like kind of dying in the movie realm? Like, isn't it not like they're not doing the movies anymore? Like I don't know if he was pretending or if he just had literally like it seemed like he didn't know what was going on with Star Wars because Frosty was like, no, Disney just released they're doing 10 different series. And he was like, oh well, cool, yeah. And he was like, yeah, they're doing an Obi-Wan show with Ewan. He was like, yeah, I'd be down to do that. Like that's literally pretty much all he said was, yeah, I'd be down to do that.
That's funny.
But some people are thinking that maybe he was playing down and that he actually is in Obi-Wan season 1. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on that as far as you think maybe he was telling the truth or trying to or if he had no idea. And would you like to see him back? What do you think?
I think he was faking it. I think he's gonna come back.
Wait, who was this interview with?
Collider.
He interviewed with Collider and says he
Collider.
doesn't know about Star Wars. What's
Yeah.
going on? Dude, that seems fake. I haven't seen that interview, but I was just like scrolling through YouTube, and this is pretty recent. This is what I'm sharing right here is a still from an interview he had with James Corden.
Mm-hmm.
And he was showing off his lightsaber, talking about how it was a special time in his life.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. He
this was this year since
was
it was like
interviewing
via
for a different
webcam.
movie. They were interviewing him about his new movie.
Yeah. So I mean, the lightsaber's right there, and he'd be a sweet Force ghost or flashbacks.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he voiced Qui-Gon Jinn in Rebels.
oh, okay.
If you knew that or not.
Mm.
But yeah, he voiced him in Rebels, and when you think about it, like it makes so much sense. Like obviously we don't know where this Obi-Wan show is headed. as far as the storyline goes and what's going to go on with it. But like, how do you justify like not having him in there and not having that character be part of Obi-Wan's journey in between those two episodes? Because even at the end of episode 3 of Revenge of the Sith, Yoda says something like, more lessons you must learn, or whatever, like from Qui-Gon. Yeah. Good.
That was good.
But yeah, he's like,
That was
he basically
impressive.
tells him like, and they like name drop him, like, you can't just like tiptoe around that, skirt around that, and just pretend like that didn't happen. And it's even confirmed that he learned from Qui-Gon. So
Yeah. So it makes sense to have him in there.
yeah.
Whether even if it's just a voice, because we don't even know how many episodes Hayden is going to be in the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah.
It could be like Ahsoka, where he just shows up for an episode.
Oh, I hope it's
fine though.
Speaking of
And then they
Ahsoka,
announced the Darth Vader spinoff.
I hope they put Ahsoka in this show. That would be so cool.
That'd be great. What was I gonna say? Do you think that Obi-Wan will travel to that planet that Yoda did to learn more about the Force?
Oh, Dagobah?
I feel like this especially this season is going to mostly take place on Tatooine. I feel like they might do that, like might leave like at the end.
Isn't it a limited series? I think it's just one season.
I don't know. Is it? It might.
That's what I thought.
Be. Yeah. Well, I mean, then you'd hope that they either have a lot of episodes or the episodes are long. So maybe they do. Maybe they do that, but yeah, there's gonna have to like have a good reason to leave Tatooine.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be 4 episodes.
4, really?
Yeah. All right. I have to look this up now. Right now.
Yeah, I mean that would. I can't say whether I would be disappointed by that or not.
I'd kind of be disappointed unless they're like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, if they're an hour and a half episodes, then go for it, which like, I mean, they kind of did that with the gallery, this season. The gallery was like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And the season before it was like very short pieces. Like we thought, little insight to the listener here. Like we thought we'd be talking about the gallery every single week, breaking down the gallery, but then it was just 1 hour and 1.5 hour, whatever, episode. So that, I mean, they show that they change stuff up. So I wouldn't be super surprised if it was 4 episodes, but if they are 28-minute episodes, I'm going to absolutely riot, like losing my mind.
Yeah.
I can't find where I saw that rumor. Maybe I'm just misremembering like a different series that was going to be released. But I think it's like not a high count episode.
Yeah, I think you're right about the limited series thing.
But I just read a thing where it's like a character that could show up would be Cal Kestis. That would be cool if he showed up in the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because it kind of lines up with what they're doing,
Because I feel like you can't put Cal anywhere else in story-wise because they'll either be way too young or way too old.
And then you're like,
Cameron Monaghan,
where were you, kind of thing.
However old he is, our age.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would make a lot of sense for him to be in there and like seeking out other Jedi. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that could be cool. I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
How old would Cal be after episode 6, I think?
Oh, it'd be like
he would.
He'd be like 60, right? 50?
No. How long after Fallen Order is so Revenge of the Sith? At that time he was like 9, right? Like somewhere like 8, 9 kind of, or maybe in his like early teens, 11.
I think Fallen Order is only set 5 years after Order 66, 5 or 6 years.
Okay, so what, he's like 19 or 18 in that, or something around there. So then 14 years after that, and then the whole original saga is like within a span of like 5 to 7 years. He'll probably be like 40. Like, I'm terrible at math, but probably 40s, around there.
I guess they could age him up.
Yeah. How old is the actor? Is he like?
I think he's like our age. He might be 8 years older.
25.
maybe. Let me see.
What's his name, the actor?
Cameron Monaghan.
Aaron Monaghan.
He's 27.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could put a beard on him and
He has a beard right now.
oh,
I think
there
you should
go.
just recast him at that point if he's gonna be like 40 something.
Just
Unless they
get,
don't make. Oh wait, it's an Obi-Wan, so it's new. I
yeah.
think that was all the news that we had. Unless you guys had any. Actually, no, I did have something else to add. If you are, this is just quick news. If you are reading The Light of the Jedi, like we are, this person on Instagram is making a visual dictionary, because the worst part about reading a Star Wars book is all the species they bring up and all these character names that are getting
Mhm.
thrown at you.
It gets very confusing
Yeah.
if you're not familiar.
I'll be like, all right, what is the species again? I'll have to look them up. And so this person named Darth.Deacon on Instagram, they're making a visual dictionary for, and so get to visualize all these characters. So that's just quick news, and that's pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, that's definitely helpful. I know even I'm only like 5 chapters in, and I was having to brush up on my memory of species in Star Wars, and it was a tall task before Justin sent us a full list of pictures and everything, which was a huge help.
I think it was probably from that guy. I don't remember which ones I sent you.
Mhm. But yeah, so that's all for news this week. As we know, it's kind of the lull, the down point in Star Wars news. Should be picking up soon, but yeah, it does it for the news this week. Now, as you know, every other week when we do not have a guest, we will be taking viewer questions. So we're gonna kick those off, do a couple for you here. Going forward, also just to let you guys know, if you ever have questions, you're more than welcome to message us on any social media that we're on. Instagram, you can message the Bad Batch podcast Instagram page directly, or just either any of us on personal messages. And then you can also follow us on Twitter, where you can message us too, or tweet stuff, share stuff with us at the Bad Batch Pod.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jay, you want to kick off the questions?
Yeah. All right. The first question comes from a friend named Connor, and it says, would you prefer they stick to standalone movies or move into another trilogy after episode 9?
Standalone movies.
Yeah. I think the best thing for Star Wars right now is to give the sequels and the Skywalker saga a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah.
Like you got it. I mean, there was a lot of flack after the prequels came out. Let's be honest, and with time came different perspectives. So you can hope for the best with that, but you don't want to jump into another trilogy and risk like tanking your public perception of a loved franchise that's 40 years old.
Yeah.
I would say standalone movies for sure. I would even stretch that to say I think the best place for Star Wars right now is in TV. I think it's
totally agree.
yeah. I just don't think that movies are the right place for it right now.
Especially with the whole pandemic and everything. Like,
oh yeah,
just moving forward, like TV is the way to go and streaming services.
And like BJ, I think you said this a couple weeks ago, and I was agreeing with you how like there you can just flush out characters and situations and planets and theories and literally everything. Every detail is flushed out more because you're stretching that out.
Exactly.
And Disney Plus, I mean, it's owned by Disney, so they have a bunch of money to spend on this. And I think what BJ, was it you sent me the WandaVision budget was 25 million or something like that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was ridiculous.
Per episode, right? Was that per episode?
I don't know if it was per episode. I think it was just all together, but
Otherwise,
it was a ridiculous amount. But it was probably some like paying the actors, but still the visual effects and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're committing to it.
I wouldn't mind another trilogy because I do like movies, but I like TV too. TV's great.
Yeah.
For like telling like smaller scale stories, I think. But I'd be down to get another trilogy, but not part of the Skywalker saga. It should be the High Republic or the Old Republic.
I like that.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see like doing way before. I could see that.
And the High Republic does feature, spoiler alert, a character named Yoda that you might know. And so that way people would still have someone to connect with or like recognize, but then they could have a trilogy from there.
Yeah, it's like you have one character that you can kind of bridge that gap with. That makes it a little bit easier transition. But I mean, you could even say just like the Jedi Order itself could be a character, to bridge that gap with. But yeah, I mean that's a really good idea.
Maybe Yoda. I didn't know he was an
People
adult.
people have theorized that he might be the future for Star Wars moving forward past Episode 9. Like that's who they want to use, like to
that'd be great.
bring their storylines along. Which
I mean, that makes sense because people like that we saw Ahsoka grow up from like I don't know how old
16.
she was when we saw her. Like,
but we also saw her as like a toddler, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But when we met her, she was like 15, 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we meet someone who was, I mean, he's like 70, but who's like an infant form, yeah, or toddler form, that'd be cool. Watch him grow up over 900 years.
So moving
way in the future.
Yeah, way in the future. So going on to our second question, this questionnaire listener, if you will, does not wish to be named. So this is a question from he who will not be named. What is one thing you would change from each of the Skywalker Saga movies? I think to make this a little bit of an easier question, we will just answer what would we change from each one of the trilogies.
Okay.
So whoever wants to go, shoot.
I'll go first. So from the original trilogy, I would make it like more upgraded animation and everything. That would make it a lot better for me.
Yeah.
The prequels, I don't know specifically what I would want change for that, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like I like them a lot. But the updated visuals I think was good. So not a lot with that, with the prequels, but the sequel trilogy, there's a lot that needs to be changed with that. I think they need to do different stuff with the characters, different stuff with Han Solo, different stuff with Luke. I feel like we should save all the sequel stuff for another podcast.
Just give a vague topic that you would change.
I think characters in the writing would be my thing.
There you
go. Yeah, I have mine. For the prequels, I would change just a little bit less of Anakin and Padme just kind of hanging out on Naboo.
Mm-hmm. Isn't she's like 14 and he's like a child, right?
9 or 8 or something.
Yeah. So I would change that about the prequels, like in Attack of the Clones, where he's just watching over her or like protecting her. And then for the original trilogy, I would change the first hour of Return of the Jedi. It is way too dragged out. It's dripping in exposition, and it drives me crazy every time I watch it. I like it. It just takes so long for me, and it's not as fast as the other Star Wars. And maybe that's just generational thing.
Yeah.
And then for the sequels, I mean, there's a good amount to change, but just off the top of the head, I would not have Palpatine in it.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Writing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. If I was going to start with the prequels, I mean, so there's a couple things. No, I'll keep it to one. I would keep Darth Maul alive. I would explain that because we're making changes from information that we know now. So that's how I'm going to make my changes. I would definitely address that Darth Maul is alive.
Yeah, like just showed them like, okay, I can see
the hand.
And like talk about it. Yeah, do like something, address something now.
Lightsaber ignited.
Yeah, exactly.
Darth Maul.
In the originals, something that a fan made, I forget the exact name of it because it's the name of the exact scene for filming. Someone reimagined the Vader Obi-Wan fight on the Death Star, and that was unreal. Like if that was in the movie.
Yeah, they deep faked Alec Guinness.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So that would be my change for that. Hopefully we get that in or not that, but hopefully we get a fight between them in the Obi-Wan show.
Mhm.
And as far as the sequels go, I will leave this with just saying a plan. What I will say, a
That's
plan.
funny.
So again, writing.
Plan of any kind whatsoever.
Like
standalone, they were fine, but just as all three of them together.
Yeah.
together, yeah.
Where is this train going?
It's like a train, then a plane, then a bus. It just changes all of its transportation.
Jeez.
So, BJ,
Okay.
what's the next one?
Next. What is your favorite crazy fan theory? Example, Jar Jar being a Sith Lord. Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah.
That is one of them. Someone sent us. Oh, first of all, that question was from Chris. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
So one that I think Billy sent us,
Mhm.
the one where the sequels are in another universe, another dimension.
Yeah, they're being retconned by the Mandalorian, which
That'd be
sounds
awesome.
crazy when you hear it.
That sounds
But
crazy.
then they break it down. I kind of liked it. If you guys are familiar with the World Between Worlds, right? Is
Yeah.
that the right thing? It kind of uses that to explain it. We won't completely break that down here because we'll probably talk about that in another week. But yeah, no, that one's wild. I kind of like it.
Yeah, so that would be one of my favorite crazy theories to happen.
Part of me, as dumb as it is, part of me kind of wishes they did the Jar Jar as a Sith. Like,
Oh my god, that's like that is my one-time favorite Star Wars.
I was so deep into like the videos on YouTube in between 7 and 8, just like, or even before 7, because Snoke, the name Snoke was released, and then Snoke is like a northern fish that looks like Jar Jar, and so much breakdown. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do it. And there's this clip of George Lucas saying, Jar Jar is the key to it all.
Yep, that's such a funny clip in the prequels, like not outtakes, but
The making of or whatever. Yeah, I wish they did that. That would probably be mine. Oh my god. For our listeners,
watching
head
on
over to our
YouTube.
YouTube and check out the visual podcast to get some of these gems that we're looking at right now.
Yeah, so right here we have the World Between Worlds with Ahsoka and Ezra, and then right here, this is what it looks like. This is what time travel looks like in Star Wars, and then Darth Jar Jar here. So just Jar Jar's face on Kylo Ren. I would say this one is my favorite theory. I think it's funny, but I saw actually a crazy theory today, which I don't like. But that Anakin like force tricked Padme into liking him.
Ew.
Yes, how lame is
As
that?
an 8-year-old?
Dude,
That's
so bad.
Yeah, that is lame.
I just saw that theory today and I was like, that's stupid.
That like comes across as like gross almost.
Yeah.
Gross, and like he's supposed to be like
He's supposed to be good
innocent
up
and
until
a
that
kid
point.
at this point still, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Dumb.
just kind of, yeah, no thank you.
Terrible theory. So yeah, that's that. That's our favorite theories, Chris. And actually Chris asked the next question, if I think. I said, yeah, would you rather save the life of a stranger or own a real life lightsaber, and what color? Assuming that we pick the lightsaber.
Why
Well,
not?
you can see back here, I have a lightsaber right there.
Justin already
knows.
Yeah, it's green.
So Justin has made his decision.
Yeah, I didn't save anyone to get this. Or I mean, I didn't save anyone, so I have this.
I did not save anyone.
Yeah. This is actually a fun fact. After I got like a big boy job, this was the first thing I bought before I even got a paycheck. I was like, I'm gonna buy a lightsaber, and that was 2 years ago.
Oh,
nice.
I bought a TV.
But I wouldn't pick green. I just picked green. I was like, that's a color that I wouldn't normally pick, so I just picked green. But I think I'd rather
it's really
save
cool.
someone's life. If I knew I was gonna save someone's life, I think I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't have a lightsaber and it was have the Force,
now we're talking.
Yeah.
Oh.
The only thing is like a kind of a cool lightsaber color that people don't like. You don't see a lot is orange.
Dude, I knew you were gonna say that. It's a good
I
one.
like
I
orange.
think that's what I'd pick. Orange, or I guess the traditional blue.
I would
Red.
choose white or black. Oh, or both? Why
Oh,
not
one
both?
of each?
One of each?
That would be cool.
Mandalorian and not in any allegiance? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
So you wouldn't save a life?
I plead the fifth.
No, I'd save the stranger maybe.
Cool.
Wait, Drew, what would your color be? Orange?
Orange, yeah, I think go orange or traditional green if we're sticking to what's in the movies and stuff. So now this next question comes from our good friend Anthony Gold. He says, "Hey, big fan. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate you listening.
Thanks, Anthony.
If you could be friends with anyone in the Star Wars universe, who would it be?"
Ahsoka.
Oh.
Who's next?
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise.
I mean, I think I might have to go Chewie.
Chewie.
Ooh, yeah.
Good companion. Yeah,
Nice. I was gonna say Han, I think. So that'd be cool.
there we go.
But I mean Obi-Wan would be cool. Palpatine.
Honestly,
Boys of the
he gets
Emperor.
red.
Like, I'm on your good
Probably-
side. Remember that. Don't blow
Yeah.
up my planet.
Hey, I was nice to
Spoiler
you,
alert,
remember?
they blow up planets.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
Who else?
well-
Yeah, definitely Obi-Wan too.
Yeah, everyone's going. R2.
Oh, too, yeah. You're picking people who don't speak like a language.
I like to listen to myself talk.
I mean, you
Um,
can learn.
Yeah, I'll learn.
If you're you're a true friend, you would learn.
Exactly. I'll learn different languages. Cool.
Okay. So next question. Did General Grievous ever fix his cough? And this was from our friend Blake.
Yeah, he did when Obi-Wan killed him.
Once he's dead, I guess he's
Doesn't
not
cough
coughing.
anymore.
Do you guys know that the cough, the origin of it or whatever,
Yep.
it comes from the old Clone Wars, so not like the 3D animation, like
The
the
Samurai Jack animated one.
Yeah, Samurai Jack animation. Mace Windu, he's escaping, and Mace Windu grabs him with the Force and like crushes his chest cavity a little bit, so he's always coughing.
Yeah, that's a cool little tidbit. And if you haven't seen those Clone Wars, I actually don't know where you can find them, but you also get to see Anakin cut off his braid when he's like no longer a Padawan.
And they made a Jedi out of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and his name is Shaggy.
Let's
And he
go.
looks just like Shaggy.
That's pretty sweet.
I haven't watched
killed
that
by
since I
it.
was a kid.
Yeah, he's killed by General Grievous.
Oh no.
No.
That's where I remember Ventress from most and being like
Yeah.
super scared of her.
That was the scariest version of Grievous. I remember
Yeah.
like it's like super dark and he's just like slowly picking people off. They kind of like do a similar scene in the episode with Kit Fisto and General Grievous. But like I remember in the Clone Wars or like the Samurai Jack style one, that he was like creepy. I was also like 8, so things were a little bit scarier then.
Yeah.
I'm totally not scared now. Like not scared.
all of
Definitely
anything.
not.
Whatever.
Jay, you got the next one?
BJ, you said? Or
Is
me?
it J? Justin, sorry.
Oh, okay. No,
we have
no.
a J and a BJ, so
Yeah. Oh, did you pick this one for me for a reason? All right. This one comes from, he's not really a friend of ours, but his name's Eamon. It goes, why does the new Han Solo have the personality of a wet mop, just white bread?
He's not as experienced.
Way to flip it. Nice.
nice answer.
Yeah. That's the nice answer.
Way to be nice to Eamon.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
It's
That is such a
possible.
sweet description of something now.
Yeah.
How else do you answer that?
Oh yeah, he's just an inexperienced white bread guy. I don't know. I
Just a
still
guy
like
looking to make his way in the galaxy.
Yeah,
Cool.
guy with big dreams.
His last name's Solo.
Well,
Personality.
we'll move on to the next question with that. So this is kind of a follow-up. maybe we didn't delve deep enough into this last time we discussed it. So I apologize if our last answer didn't suffice the needs of the listener. But our friend Nick asks, where does Mando poop? He says, like, come on, there's no bathroom in the Razor Crest anymore. That is because the Razor Crest is now a pile of rubble. I think as we discussed in the previous episode, BJ brought to our attention that it's part of the Mandalorian code that they do not defecate. They
yes, and
internalize it and hold it in.
Yes, I was actually researching more. Mandalorians are actually born with the Force, but they only use the Force to keep in all the poo and condense it into like this little ball. It's crazy. Mandalorians are crazy.
Yeah, they use every nutrient possible. They don't need
every nutrient. That's why they're so strong.
That's why they're so strong. That's why the Beskar armor, it's like, it really doesn't even do anything. It's just the Mandalorians, you know?
Yeah. And then and a follow-up to that is Mac asks, who is the real Muffin Man? Now, I will answer this very quickly and we can move on. You just got to trust your feelings and you know it's who the Muffin Man is.
Reach out. Use the Force.
Use the Force, Mac.
It is me. I am the Muffin Man. Okay, and then
cut that out. No, you have to say spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. All right, and our last question, BJ, you want to tackle that one?
Yes. From our friend Drew, not this Drew, a different Drew, I think.
A different one.
Okay, you didn't ask that? All right.
Top 5 favorite characters. Justin, you go first.
Oh, what? Okay.
What do you think?
All right. Actually, I'll do one from each little thing. So the prequels, Anakin. Original trilogy, Han Solo. The sequels, Kylo Ren. Clone Wars, Ahsoka. Rebels, Sabine Wren.
Nice.
Boom. Yeah, that was actually easier than I thought if I did it like that.
I'll go Luke, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and then I'll go Ezra.
Wait, who's the second to last person?
Ki-Adi-Mundi is the guy with the really tall head. I don't know why. As a kid, like I always thought he was the coolest Jedi.
That's how I feel about
Kit Fisto, right?
Yeah. He's the one who says, "What about the droid attack?"
Yeah.
The Wookiees.
Okay. Mine obviously Ahsoka.
Yep.
And that's it.
Also Anakin. Ezra.
I should have
really like Chopper. He was sarcastic. You couldn't understand him, but he was great. And I want to say Mace, but he was kind of too straight edge, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, huge rule follower.
Yeah.
Big on rules.
Big on rules.
Unless it was him where he's like, let's just kill Palpatine. No trial.
No trial. No, he just needs to go.
This is his trial.
Which he was right. He was not wrong there. You know what? I'm going to go with Mace.
Good.
I'm going with Mace.
That's Ki-Adi-Mundi, if you were wondering.
Boy.
Also, honorable mention Kit Fisto.
Honorable mention Kit Fisto all day.
All day.
And Hera.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really hard to. It's hard to pick characters in the TV shows because you see so many of them.
Yeah.
And like they're all like pretty cool. While like in the movies they have like 4 cool characters, then everyone else is kind of a bust. Just kidding.
Exactly. Well, cool. So that's it for listener questions this week. If your question wasn't answered this week, then we will be answering it next week when we have a guest on the podcast. BJ, you want to go in a little bit depth about who that is and what we might be covering?
Yes. Our friend Brianna, she should be guessing next week, and we are going to be talking overall about Rebels, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So we're super excited about that, and make sure to listen to that. Now, a little side announcement for all of us that we knew we touched on this last week, and I know you've been watching me drink out of my cup this whole episode, but we have stickers now, the Bad Batch podcast sticker.
I don't have one yet, but I do have a Samoy Studio one.
There you go.
You get
and one of these very stickers could be yours, listener. if you just follow 3 very easy steps.
So I will go over the steps real quickly here. If you don't have Apple Podcasts, I know that makes it hard. If you're on an Android, you should probably just get a new phone. But rate us on Apple Podcasts, whatever you'd like. There's a certain number that I would like if you gave us, but I'm not gonna say it ethically. And then the other thing. Those are the ratings. Cool. So follow us on Instagram, and then subscribe to us on YouTube. And I didn't make this clear last week, but please message us once that is completed, and I will double check to make sure, because we had a couple people confirm their stickers, and I did notice that we got more followers and subscribers, but I wasn't sure if that was because of you wanted the sticker or if you were just subscribing because you liked it. But if you want a sticker, please do those 3 things, and then message us on Instagram saying, hey, I did the things.
Give me
Here's
my
my
sticker
proof.
now. Please give me my sticker.
Yeah. And then you'll have to give me your address and then social and just from random social security.
Credit card information.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Well, yeah. With that being said, make sure, touching on that too, make sure to follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram is at the Bad Batch Podcast. We did also start a YouTube page where you can be watching along with us when we have all sorts of clips that Justin is graciously able to put together and put on the screen while we watch along for all kinds of different intricate Star Wars details. So make sure to go over there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can comment, do whatever you want to do. I'm not telling you what to do, but it will be fun for you, for us, for everybody involved.
Do it.
And that is also the Bad Batch Podcast on YouTube. We launched a Twitter as well, who is helmed by our very own BJ Davis, the king of Twitter. That's the Bad Batch Pod, so please make sure to go over and follow us there. You can find me at Drew Crispell on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll send it off to you guys.
Yeah, and you can just find me if you can, and then I'll give you a sticker. Just Justin_Samoy for the Instagram, but follow us on the Bad Batch. That's where the real magic is.
Mm-hmm. I'll be coming out with weekly clips and stuff like that, where you can kind of get the hits of the week on there. We'll probably be posting between 2 and 3 times a week with clips or different things on there to stay involved with the growing community. So
yeah, we'll just share tidbits and little things that we haven't put in the pod that could be news just for that week or something. We'll put it in our story or tweet it out. So yeah, follow us there.
That's the best way to keep up with us and keep in touch and everything. So with that being said, great job, everyone. Great job, listening again. You loyal listeners out there. Thanks.
Good strong ears.
We will see you next week.
And thanks for listening.
Peace.